Hello everyone, what's happening? It's Richard Purnell here. Welcome to a movie review right here on Channel 23, ha ha ha. Did you think I was going to say a new episode of comics? Did you? Well, guess what? I already did comics, and if you haven't seen it yet, I'll put a link down below. Check it out. I would really appreciate it. So yes, hello everyone. I am here to review a movie, and a movie that I gotta say is probably my favorite movie that I've seen this summer so far. And that movie is none other than the latest film from director Guillermo del Toro, Pacific Frickin' Rim. Yeah! And you know what? I gotta say, it's so nice to finally see a Guillermo del Toro movie in theaters lately. You know, it seems like it's been forever. I mean, what? It's been like 5 years since he's directed a movie. The last movie he did, I think, was Hellboy 2, right? In 2008? I think that was the last movie he did. And, you know, between then and now, he was, you know, doing some other stuff like writing books and working on TV projects and executive producing movies and whatnot. And I'm cool with that because, you know, I'm a Del Toro fan. No matter where he goes, I'm following and I'm checking it out because he makes great stuff. But the thing he does best is movies, and I was really missing seeing Guillermo del Toro movies in theaters, and so it's very awesome to see one in theaters now. So anyways, Pacific Rim, or for some of you people, you might know it as the Giant Monster, Giant Robot Battle Fest. So the story of Pacific Rim, which is set in the distant future, but not the too distant future. I mean, it's not, let's just leave it at that. It's the not so distant future, if you will. And the world is being invaded, and not from the stars, mind you, but from the ocean. The world is being invaded by these giant monster alien creature things called the kaiju. And so, like in any situation when the world is in threat, you know, the world itself is going to fight back. Their original means, like nuking the monsters, while effective, isn't the greatest way to defeat these kaiju monsters. So what the United Nations, if you will, the entire world decides to do is create these giant mech robots, create their own monsters, as the main character in the movie says, to combat the kaiju, and they call these giant robots Jaegers, which is German for hunter. And while it seems like everything's getting pretty fine and dandy and everyone's getting really optimistic, and you know the Jaegers have been defeating the kaiju, while everything's starting to seem happy-go-lucky, new class levels of kaiju begin to rise from the Pacific Ocean, and they're pretty much killing not only the Jaeger machines, but also the pilots inside of them. So feeling this is no longer a viable way to take on the kaiju in this kaiju war, the United Nations decides to just completely and utterly stop the Jaeger program 100% and fund this giant wall to be built to block out the kaiju from coming in. So basically, through black mark funding, the people who ran the Jaeger program is bringing it back and enacting a plan they have to completely eradicate the kaiju problem forever. God, I really hope I didn't spoil the entire movie for you guys. Anyway, so my anticipation for Pacific Rim was through the roof. I was so pumped to see this movie. I mean, look at the elements you got in this movie and tell me you're not excited for it. Giant monsters, giant robots, Guillermo del Toro, you know, just all that stuff just mixed together in a bowl can do nothing but create greatness. In my honest opinion, that's all that can come out, and that's exactly what came out. I freaking loved this movie. Again, this is by far the absolute best movie to be released in theaters this summer. I'm not even joking. And you know why this movie is so amazing? Do you know why this movie is so awesome? Because it is the perfect and purest representation of what a summer movie should be. And you know what that is? Fun! Yes, while it's okay to have a dramatic, you know, action summer movie like Man of Steel, that's okay, while that's all fun and dandy. At the end of the day, a summer movie should be a movie that you have fun watching, that you sit there and you're just having the greatest time of your life watching the movie. That's what a summer movie is, and that's exactly what Pacific Rim is. But on that note, alright, I will say, I wouldn't say Pacific Rim is Guillermo del Toro's best movie he's ever made. But then again, when you made a film like Pan's Labyrinth, it's going to be pretty hard to top. I mean, that movie's just wow. And you know what the thing is? I guarantee this, and I'm pretty sure this has already happened, I guarantee there's going to be people going into Pacific Rim expecting it to be Pan's Labyrinth. But the thing is, it's not Pan's Labyrinth, and you know what? It shouldn't be Pan's Labyrinth. Admittedly, the story isn't fairly original, the characters are pretty stereotypical. That's fine for this movie, alright? That's perfectly fine for this movie, because the main reason to see this movie is for giant monsters and giant robots having a battle fest. But admittedly, I will say, with everything that goes on in this movie, with the story, the characters and all that stuff, if this movie had been directed by somebody else, it wouldn't have been nearly this good, and it probably would have been the worst movie of the summer. But again, because it was under the tutelage of someone like Guillermo del Toro, who's a talented and thoughtful and passionate director, we got the best movie of the summer. The exact opposite. It's kind of like Jurassic Park a little bit, at least in my opinion. It's kind of like Jurassic Park. I think that if anyone else had tackled Jurassic Park other than Steven Spielberg, yeah, we would have gotten a cool little dinosaur movie, but it wouldn't have been as good in any way. At least I think so. I mean, look at Jurassic Park 3, you know, that was handled by Joe Johnston. That movie was terrible. So I think that's a pretty prime example of my point. Alright, so I've talked story, I've talked character, I've talked about that stuff, but now it's time to talk about the element of this movie that's the most important and the best element of this movie, and that is the fight scenes. Alright, the fight scenes in this movie are amazing. Oh my god, they're so cool. And seeing, you know, the Jaeger and the kaiju just battle it out, it's so beautifully done. It's not like Michael Bay, you know, with the shaky, quick edits and, you know, the massive amounts of destruction. No, Guillermo del Toro actually makes you feel how massive these things are, and you know, when you see something punch something else, you feel it and you see it, and it's electrifying, and it's orgasmic. And you know, I honestly cannot pick a single fight that is my favorite fight, because each fight had like their crowning moment and their greatest moment, because they're all great. They're all amazing. And another thing I will say about this movie, and this is something I don't normally say about any movie, but if you're going to see this movie in theaters, see it in 3D. The 3D in this movie is probably the best 3D I have seen ever. Even better than Avatar, alright? I'm sure some people would disagree with that, but the 3D in this movie is spectacular. And it's not even a movie that was shot in 3D, it was conversion. So, at the end of the day, Pacific Rim, again, best movie of the summer I have seen. It is fun, it's incredibly epic and beautiful to look at. The characters are all fun, and while the story is predictable and a story we've seen before, it's still cool to watch. Man, I'm so happy with this movie. And just in talking about it, I just want to go watch it again. So Pacific Rim from this guy gets a 4.5 out of 5. So anyways, that's about it for me. In the comment section below, what did you think of Pacific Rim? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What are your thoughts on it? Tell me in the comments. I want to know. So as always, don't forget to like this video. Follow me and Carter on Facebook, Twitter, directorscutradio.com, and Tumblr. And I'm on Vine, by the way. I just got a Vine, which is connected to Twitter, so go follow me on that as well. Links, again, all down below. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you like what you see, and favorite the video because I like it when you do that. And I'll see you guys next time with a brand new video. Bye!